Hello Internet, I am the hero of Julios once again with another One Piece chapter summary. This week's chapter is for all of you independent contractors out there, chapter 1099, Pacifist. The chapter begins with obviously the most pacifistic appearance in the world, burning buildings. Lots of them, so many burning buildings. It's actually quite horrible. See the previous king of Sorbet, King Bakori. He learned something from the east, the far east blue, where the Goa kingdom had their own little idea of how to get rid of the, let's say, unwanted parts of their society. Well, there was no dragon to come and brush the wind away and save the people because the Revolutionary Army was off doing something else. There was, however, one priest who did not want to see this happen to his kingdom again. One very angry priest with the power of the pawpaw fruit. This became known in the history of One Piece's world, which we still don't know the name of this world, but this became known in the world as the One Man Revolution. As Bartholomew Kuma just kind of and used the mighty Ursa shock to just take out King Bakori, although not actually killing him because Kuma's not really big into that, which is another reason why I think he likes Luffy so much. After this one-man revolution, though, we cut to Saturn receiving news that the Sorbet Kingdom has a new king, and he's like, "Oh, really? Who? That's strange, because I'm pretty sure we just put that King Bakori guy back in. So who's in charge?" We cut to, I guess not too much time has passed, but Kuma is now the figurehead. He is not the official king of the kingdom. That is actually Old Bulldog, a older gentleman who was the king before Bakori, because would that make him Bakori's father? Is that how kings work in One Piece? Because it should be, that should be how kings work, but they don't talk about him like he's Bakori's father. So that's what's interesting about it. The true king of Sorbet, however, lives in a church, healing the sick and helping the needy and just doing the Lord's work, as Bartholomew Kuma is raising his little daughter, Bonnie, who is not little anymore. Bonnie is a full-grown adult woman, and everybody's kind of wondering why, and even Bonnie is wondering why, and turns out she ate the age fruit. Yes, this is the official first time we are hearing the devil fruit's name after so many chapters. Yes, Oda answered this in a question corner a little bit ago, but it's nice to hear it in the actual chapters itself because some people don't read the question corner, some people don't watch the anime, some people don't read the manga, they just watch the anime. Some people, I got a friend who only watches it dubbed, so he's poor guy still watching Wano. Poor guy, I think he's like just about to see Gear 5th. Like this man, I pray for you, my friend, because I really want you to catch up and see all the crazy things that have been happening lately. But he likes watching it dubbed. Nothing wrong with that. So anyways, I got to admit, Oda kind of just glossed over Bonnie obtaining her devil fruit. And there's nothing wrong with that. See, Robin's flashback, we had already established Robin had a devil fruit. We didn't see Chopper munch on his devil fruit. My guess is the way devil fruit reincarnation works, however it does, is whoever currently had the age fruit died. Their devil fruit reincarnated. Bonnie is a glutton like her mother. So Bonnie was just, munching on fruit after fruit down in the church basement. As she grabbed a delicious looking pear and brought it towards her mouth, it started growing swirls. 8-year-old Bonnie didn't see that. Takes a bite. Oh, that one's gross. I'm not eating that one. What the heck, I'm Bonnie. Eats the rest of it, eats the other fruits, and decides to go do some cardio because she needs to be big and strong for her 10th birthday where she's gonna be cured, definitely not dead, in 2 years because this is little 8-year-old Bonnie. So little 8-year-old Bonnie is running around in her new adult form. And the shock of realizing she's in an adult body kind of poofs her back to being her little self. The other people are figuring it out. They're reading the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia. They figure out it's the age fruit. And that's when Bulldog comes, because he's going to talk to Kuma about some things. And Bulldog brings his mother with him. His mother is Connie, the Queen Dowager, who just happens to look like Bonnie as an old lady. Bonnie practices with her devil fruit. We actually see a little panel of her being like, I did it! I made myself look old! And we see her and the Queen Dowager looking very similar. This is Oda's way of kind of just, I guess, fast forwarding through all the different explanations he needs to get through in Kuma's backstory, because we even get the reason why he's called a tyrant in the very next panel. We see the reason Bulldog has come to talk to Kuma is to show him the newspaper that the tyrant Kuma has destroyed the kingdom of Sorbet with his mighty paw powers and has taken over as a cruel dictator. And Kuma's like, well, that's not good. So, for the sake of my daughter, I'm gonna leave. And Bonnie's like, but Dad. And he's like, no. You stay here, stay in the church, stay with your friends, stay with my family, stay with, I guess not really friends and family, but stay with the good people of Sorbet. I'm going to go out to sea for a multitude of reasons. The first and foremost reason he can't tell her, because he's already told her she'll be fine when she's 10, but Kuma has a clock. He's got 2 years to figure out how to cure his daughter, and he is off. He becomes a pirate. He gets a bounty. Bonnie's back home training, waiting for her dad to come, because when she turns 10, they're going on super cool adventures together. And that's where Kuma leaves his daughter for a bit. So Kuma goes on a whole Brody quest as he sort of just just goes from like place to place. He's going to the Torino Kingdom. He ends up on a sky island. He finds a bridge that's being built going to nowhere. He sees Mihawk's castle. If you're detecting a pattern here, these are all the places the Straw Hat Crew. Including Vegapunk's lab, which is really funny because just a few panels later, but we'll get to that. But yeah, this is all the places he's all in his quest to find a cure for his daughter. The cure for sapphire scales. Unfortunately, none of these places find it. I don't know why going to Mihawk's place would find a cure. I mean, I guess it's an old kingdom, so maybe like the medical records of it. I'm sure Mihawk would have nothing against Kuma walking around. In fact, I'm pretty sure of all the warlords, Kuma's probably the one that all the other ones would get along with the most, because he's the least annoying. I mean, you wouldn't invite Doflamingo over for Thanksgiving dinner. You wouldn't invite, well, I would invite Buggy. Buggy's, if you're his ally, Buggy's a pretty cool guy. I mean, look, he and Ace were drinking friends. But anyways, so I'm going to say maybe the medical records, the weather knowledge might have something for medicine. Vegapunk's old lab might have something for medicine. But eventually his quest ends up with him crossing paths with Dragon, as well as some of the members of the Revolutionary Army who are a bit younger in this moment. I gotta say, Bello Betty, I like the long hair look. I'm kind of bummed she doesn't have that in the main timeline. I like Bello Betty with long hair. Morley doesn't look any different. Blanking on the name of the little guy next to them. I think he is Morley's second in command, but I'd have to double check on that one. But anyways, Bello Betty asks him if she can lead the Eastern forces, and he's like, well, why are you asking me? This is actually really sweet. Dragon said no one is allowed to be the commander of the Eastern forces until Kuma says it's okay. That spot was Ginny's. Ginny never officially left the Revolutionary Army. She was always a member, even if she got kidnapped and taken away. Kuma gets to decide when she gets replaced. And Kuma's response is, well, let me think about it. A loud-mouthed, foul-mouthed language woman such as yourself leading the Eastern forces with this like high energy, we can do anything attitude. Yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable to have lead the Eastern forces. Go ahead, Betty, you can have it. So that's how Bello Betty became the leader of the Eastern forces. I don't know if she has her devil fruit yet or not, but that's kind of cute. That's pretty cute. But it is during this chance meeting that Dragon tells him of Vegapunk, a scientist down in the Grand Line, in the New World half to be specific, who can help him. And because of a certain lab accident that happened, he is currently less guarded than he usually is. So this is the perfect opportunity to and fly over to him. So Kuma returns home to his little 8-year-old daughter. He tells Bonnie that this is just going to be a routine checkup to just finalize all the paperwork and say, yup, she has definitely got a clean bill of health. When in reality, this is to find the last chance of a cure. So they do. They go to Vegapunk, and Vegapunk is shocked to see how big Kuma is, and Bonnie is shocked to see how big Vegapunk's head is. And while little Bonnie is playing with a not too much younger Sentomaru, they discuss, as adults do. And Kuma goes, so, can you cure sapphire scales? And Vegapunk goes, yeah, I can cure it. It's extremely expensive, so I'm not exactly sure how you're going to pay for this, but yeah, I can do it. And Kuma goes, oh. As their conversation skips ahead a little bit, Vegapunk learns that Kuma's a buccaneer, and he's like, oh, if you're a buccaneer, hang on, that changes everything. So, here's the deal. I will waive all of the very expensive, I need to tell you how expensive this is. Very expensive. Fees to cure the sapphire scales. In exchange, you let me make a clone army out of your DNA. And Kuma's like, deal. And he's like, oh, you're not even going to fight me on this? And he goes, no. If it's to save my daughter, I would make a deal with the devil himself. So go ahead, Mr. Devil. Clone me up. Just take those scales off my baby. Vegapunk tells him, wow, you are quite the saintly man for putting up with that just to save your daughter. I promise you, these clone soldiers are going to be the peacekeepers of the world. They are going to protect the weak. They are going to stop the tyrants. They are going to be the greatest force in the world, and it's going to look like you. You are the saintly hero. And he's like, oh, I'm not a saint. I am but a humble priest. I am a pacifist. And that's when Vegapunk says, that is the perfect name. And that's why they're called pacifistas. Now, I know what you're thinking. What a lovely, happy ending. Bonnie gets cured, pacifistas are created to protect the world, and Kuma gets to live out the rest of his life with his daughter. Oh, Saturn, what are you doing here, buddy? Oh, you heard? You heard Vegapunk's not going to make you a clone army of soldiers and weapons who can kill people? Oh, well, you decided you're going to do something about that. Chapter 1100 is coming out next week or the week after. Chapter 900 was something crazy. Chapter 1000 was something crazy. Something crazy seems to happen once every 100 chapters. Who knows what we're going to see in, I believe, the first 100 chapter that takes place in a flashback. I'd have to double check that. Whatever happens, though, I'm going to be there for it. I hope you're going to be there for it. So let's hope that, I don't know, Kuma's flashback has just been the saddest one of them all so far. So let's give him a big teddy bear hug as we push through what is probably going to be the final and most horrible part of Bartholomew Kuma, and by extension Jewelry Bonnie's, flashback. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.